for the past 5-6 months we've had this whole area tarped. Basically means putting a big tarp down, a big black plastic tarp onto the ground to solarize the area. And the reason is, this is what it was like before: grass and weeds, perennial weeds, and this is what it's like now. It's not bad, still got some, which is an absolute nightmare, this stuff. It's one of them rhizome perennial weeds. I don't know the name of it yet, I've not actually looked it up. And when you break it off, you have any little bit left, it just seems to reroot itself. But when we made these beds over here, we didn't do this. We just simply put cardboard down on the grass because time was of the essence. And these beds are not too bad. Not too bad. There is still pretty much most weeds have gone, apart from that white rhizome perennial. This one here, which I feel I'm probably going to be fighting for the next few years. But it's a lot better than it was. So Julian's just revealing it, but just shows how much it takes to properly kill what's in the ground. And if we left this on tarp now, we'd have dandelion seeds and everything else blowing into it. But Julian's now going to make sort of like the next 2 or 3 beds, which takes a long time. Usually we put cardboard down, then aged manure from the stables, and then grass clippings, or straw, and then the compost on top. So quite a few layers. But Julian's just made another bed here, and you can probably see, I'll show you. So you can see the end of the cardboard there, and then we have the manure underneath, and then the thick layer of compost. And in between each layer, these are called Lasagna Beds, and in between each layer Julian basically wets each layer as much as he can. And now, yeah, this is the next stage. Lots of worm activity. The thing about this is it brings up all the worms, and I'm thankful that in the beds that we've made so far there's so much activity, so much worm activity. Centipedes, spiders, so many. It's just beautiful. Particularly planting these leeks that you just see over there. That was amazing, just putting the dibber down and it going down sort of 10-11 inches right to the top. It was great. So it takes a lot of effort, and hats off to Julian because that's what he's doing at the moment. We've got so much work to do inside, but we have to get these beds established now. So that's what Julian's up to this week while I carry on planting, potting on, sowing seeds, weeding and everything else. So yeah, I'll let you know the progress as it happens. Morning everybody. Nice day today, except we had a small ground frost last night. So I'm just walking around checking everything now. We did plant out a couple of things. We discussed in the last video that April 15th is our last predicted frost date, our average frost date. And I couldn't for the life of me remember what that rhyme was, the French rhyme. And we discussed that I'm always trying to push the shoulder seasons and try and start things outside when we can early enough. But that doesn't mean that I always take a gamble. So even the few little courgette plants that we put outside, we protected, as you saw. But now let me just show you, switch. Now I'm in the plant nursery. So as you know, we've got a little tunnel that we use for propagation. And then we've got 2 sort of plant nurseries at the moment. This is the one where all the little pots, the 9cm pots go, and a few big ones. And there's over 1,000 plants in here now, ranging from herbs, annual flowers, perennial flowers, tomatoes, a few courgettes in here, but most of them aren't in here, grasses, marigolds, etc. nasturtiums, some more herbs there. So I'm just walking around doing the inspection, seeing what we have lost. I knew that there'd be a couple of sacrifices. This isn't, this is quite a cheap tunnel. Discussed this before in order to get things moving quite quickly. Last year we purchased 3 small tunnels, and we do have a commercial tunnel still that we brought with us to put up. We just haven't had time yet. So it doesn't have, down at the sides, it doesn't have sort of the rigid plastic that a commercial tunnel has. And I made the mistake, so you live and learn, of some of the bigger tomatoes that we put by the side. You see all these smaller ones because they are literally away from the edges, absolutely fine, which as they should be really. They shouldn't be susceptible to frost. We've got wood chips down and the plastic down as well. There's been, I can see a couple of them where the leaves wilting, but overall not bad. I've looked at the weather for the next few weeks, and last night is sort of as bad as it's going to get. We have got one more frost, it looks like, coming, but you can see that these tomatoes here, I think we're pretty much safe to say that we've lost those. We'll see, but you can see as they must have frosted up and then thawed out, and they're not great, so I can't see those coming back, which is why we succession sow. We still have over 100 tomato plants in here. We've got about another 40 slightly smaller plants in the other tunnel, and then we also have about another 400 seedlings that I started the other day. So, and bearing in mind we're only just starting the veg pot scheme in the next 6 to 8 weeks, so we're fine. But you just always live and learn. So this is the first tunnel. Let's go and check out the others. Okay, so this is the one that I'm using for propagation. I've opened up the tunnel at the moment this morning, just to let some of the moisture out on this end as the sun is already shining. However, also to let the bird out, I hope, because I've come in about 10 minutes ago and there was a bird flying around in here, which is very sweet, but you don't want it flying around and panicking on your plants. So let's have a look. Things in here not looking too bad. Some of the plants we have got propagator lids on as well overnight. That is more for the benefit of trying to ensure any mice don't come and dig around. So let's just have a look. So this is the hot bench, if you like, and everything's fine on here. It has had obviously the heat underneath. Peppers, aubergines, melons, some herbs as well. Yep, it's all looking fine. A lot of the other stuff is cold hardy anyway, so we're good to go. I've already checked in the field. Let's have a look. The peas are another plant that likes warmth, so we do have some insurance that in this tunnel here we have got, as I showed you the other day, we've got peas and beans, and then the melons and kooks and everything starting there. We've even got the cucumbers, and they are doing absolutely great. You know, not growing hugely at the moment because they are under 2 protective layers, so they're not getting as much sunlight, but it's much more important at the moment to keep them warm. And we've got lots of other backup cucumbers as well. But over there in the field, kitchen garden, we'd already lost, I planted 7 courgettes, I think it was. We'd already lost 2, and that was down to the fact that the sun was so hot on one of the days and I'd not watered in time. I'd simply forgotten they were there. I was too busy weeding, not into the watering schedule at the moment, although we have been ad hoc watering here and there. But the ones that are under cover So you can see over there the ones under the fleece, and then the one under the little tunnel. They're doing absolutely fine. So not too bad. And Julian continues to make. At the start of this video you would have seen me talking about the no-dig beds that we're making again. And Julian is continuing to make these today. The grass is going bonkers. We mowed it yesterday on a high mow for the second time, and then you get a frost. So the weather at this time of year is just ridiculous. And as I said it before, but during the day the temps can get quite high for this time of year, but the night times just drop down so much. So happy day yesterday. Got some artichokes in. This bed here is going to be a perennial and flower bed. It's got this, we took down a tree that looks more like a bush, a shrub over there in the middle of this bed last year, and we haven't taken the stump out. And to be perfectly honest, because I knew that I wanted some flower beds to divide up the plot, that it just was the ideal situation not to bother taking the stump out. So we've just worked around it and put wood chips around it, and the insect activity and things in there is so beneficial, so we might as well just leave the stump. It's not causing us any hardship. So this bed down the middle here is going to be a perennial flowers, annual flowers to bring some pollinators in as well, like marigolds and nasturtiums. So yeah, we had artichokes that I sowed from seed last year, excuse me, and they'd been overwintering, so they've gone in. Not many. Sowed a lot more. It's one of the fails that I've had so far this year, and I'll continue to do so. Sow some more today. But artichokes are quite easy to grow from seed. But if you have slugs around or mice, like the seedlings as they come up, it's an ongoing battle. It really is. And we had quite a few artichokes coming up with the seedlings so far this year in our seed trays, and all gone. 2 trays, all gone. So I'm swapping over the trays that I plant them in so I can put the propagator lids on, and that should deter them. But it's really disappointed. Really wanted to build up the artichokes this year, and we've lost sort of a couple of months since I've sowed those now. So, but again, I can't win at everything. And the purple sprouting broccoli that we had yesterday, if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you'll have seen. It was just amazing. It was really nice. I'll put a picture here. And then these are the leeks. We've got some more, you can't see them, but some more over there, and they're really starting to fatten up now. I haven't earthed them up. It's something that I wish I'd done, but they were overwintered, and to be honest, I don't mind the green. These are just for our consumption anyway. I've got a couple of neighbours who are having some veg offers every week at the moment. But really, they're only baby leeks at the moment, but we were trying them yesterday, and we had them just lightly fried them with olive oil, added a bit of mustard and then some cream. Oh, delicious. And that was with Julian's leftover homemade gluten-free steak pie from the night before, so I was a happy girl. So I'll catch up with you later, and I hope you're all having a lovely day when you watch this. And slowly but surely things are coming on a little bit now. And yeah, we'll see what we get up to today. Hang on. Go on then.
This huge bite might be a caterpillar.
Which one, darling?
This bite.
Oh yeah, caterpillar or slug. Definitely looks caterpillarish, that.
Yeah. Maybe it's a rat.
And what vegetables are these, Lily?
These
They are. They are.
They're beetroot. I like but some beetroot aren't ready.
No, they're not, darling, yet. Well, what do you think of Mummy and Daddy's veg garden and your veg garden?
It's quite nice with all the food we like, Mum.
Yeah.
I think these at England house I had some blue little gloves for planting.
And I remembered we talked about this last week, didn't we? I need to get you some more gardening gloves. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But these might be beetroot or anything.
They're not beetroot, darling, these are leeks.
Leeks.
Leeks,
And
yeah.
well, we don't know what's inside the soil yet.
Yeah, it's the bottom of the leek, darling.
And
So.
I can jump over these.
All right, and then what are these ones then? Do you know what these are?
Lettuce.
That's right,
Lettuce.
lettuce.
And what are these?
They're lettuce, they're little gem. You know what lettuce is in French? Latou. Latou. Mm-hmm.
Lettuce, Mum.
Yeah.
Lettuce. And what are these?
They're a different type of lettuce, an open heart
these
lettuce.
Are onions.
That's right, they're onions, they're spring onions.
And what are these? Spring onions.
A more open lettuce.
Yeah.
I can't remember the variety.
And these are beetroot.
They are. They
Some
are.
are beetroot are some aren't beetroot.
Okay,
And look at these. What are these?
that's spinach, darling.
Yes, spinach. And these are onions.
They look like onions, they're the same type of family, but they're little baby leeks that we've planted. So they'll be in the ground about 9 months, I think, really.
But are these
Maybe
lettuce?
quicker. That's chard, which is
chard.
blet in French.
Chard.
Yeah.
Chard. And the leaf has been on the bed.
Okay. Right, so I'm going to switch off now. Thank you for the little tour. Do you like climbing on top of the compost pile? Yeah?
I can walk, but sometimes do that. These are the days.
What, do you prefer the wood chips or the compost?
I prefer a wood chip and I prefer the wood chips and the compost.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
It's very complicated. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'm going back to work now.